Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me again on another Thursday. I'm doing the afternoon this time as opposed to morning, just seeing if this might be a little bit of a better time for people. Also, I'm actually on my lunch break right now, so this gives me a little bit more flexibility with being able to draw. Thank you for joining us. This is the Floof and Feathers comic Twitch channel doing our weekly, what's going to hopefully continue to be a weekly streaming as I do the drawing and coloring of our new comic for the week. I'll show you the preview that we have here. This is continuing the Willy Wonka parody that I'm doing right now. They're on the boat going through the scary tunnel that for some reason was in the Gene Wilder movie. I think that traumatized a lot of kids that were my age at the time when they first saw that. But of course, I have to include it here. Actually, I remember the first time that I watched that movie, or I should say, the first time that I tried to watch that movie when I was really young. Um, I had to pause the movie at that point because that tunnel just creeped me out in a lot of ways. I don't think most kids liked that. I'm still not sure why exactly that was in the movie. But yeah, I'm sure if you were young the first time that you saw that, I'm sure you can probably relate to that same response. It actually took quite a while before I was able to go back and watch the movie in full again after that first hap. Let's see, so here we are. Also, you'll notice that I do already have the drawing preview um, put together here. I did that earlier this morning, and that's uh, the reason for that is because I actually have a checkup appointment or a follow-up appointment with Finn at the vet this afternoon that he has to go to. Nothing's wrong, just getting a second round of all of his shots for summer. So that's this afternoon, and I just wanted to make sure that I had time to do the stream, do the inking and coloring, and not have to worry about rushing myself and making sure I get him there on time. Got to make sure we take care of them because they are the real life stars of this series. So got to make sure that the talent is well looked after, you could say. I'll go ahead and just keep drawing him here. Get this little bow tie. And also, I feel like that probably makes it a little bit easier for the viewer. You don't have to sit here and watch me effectively draw it twice because that's really what the sketch layer is just getting everything organized and laid out, and then I have to ink over it for the final strip. And if I did the full thing here on stream, you would basically just be watching the same comic being drawn twice over. And I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, if you find that interesting, then great. But I can't imagine that would be too terribly fun to watch over and over and over. So this might actually work out better with just seeing more of the final product, so to call it, so to speak, coming together. And we'll draw. You can see Pip here is very horrified when he learns they are going through something called the spooky tunnel. The appropriate reaction. Actually, if everyone can hold on for a sec, I'll be right back. The dogs are actually outside right now while I'm at lunch, and Finnegan wants inside, so I will be right back. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I am back. Like I said, it was quick. Pippin, he'll probably want inside in a little bit. He might take a little bit more coaxing. Especially this time of year, he loves spending as much time outside as he can, even if it's not the best weather. He doesn't really seem to care, or I don't think he actually knows the difference, to be honest. Um, he just he just wants to live outside in the backyard. He loves it out there. So it might take a little bit more convincing to get him to come inside. Even if he comes to the back door and says that he's ready to come in, and then you open the door for him, and he just stands there looking at you like he doesn't know what you're expecting. It's like, well, you're standing here saying you want to come inside. Come on inside, and he won't do it. So I'll have to probably go step out on the back deck and just toss a small little cookie to him and distract him and bring him inside. But that won't be for a while. He'll probably be out there sniffing around for a while. We get a lot of squirrels using our backyard fence as a little kind of squirrel highway system. So they love to cut through the yard and just torment the dogs. So he'll be out there sniffing after them for a while yet. So one other thing I just want to remind people as well, just while I'm doing this part of the drawing, as part of this series, I do also have available on Patreon some ongoing polls for readers and supporters if you want to help kind of choose what will happen next in this what's going to be a longer ongoing saga. In the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book and in the movies, there was very much a set order to when and where they explored in the Chocolate Factory. But given that this is my own parody of that story, I can pretty much do what I want with it. I don't have to stick to that rigid formula per se. So, that being said, if you want to give some feedback on which room in the factory you think they should go to next, oh, actually, it's still up right now. There's a poll on Patreon that you can participate in saying where you think their next stop on the tour should be. So if you're not already, I highly recommend signing up for that. You can not only can you participate in reader polls such as that, there's also a number of rewards you can get. You can see these preview sketches a full day before the final comic comes out, so you can actually download those and view those ahead of time. There are also rewards such as um, there are exclusive wallpapers that I make every month. Those I actually the one for June that I just did, I did something a little bit different. It's available in a mobile format for your phone or tablet, and I also made a wallpaper or a desktop size of it as well, so you can have a little bit of floof and feathers on your computer screen as well if you're so inclined. And those are exclusive to Patreon supporters, and those change every month. So the ones that were available, for May, that one is actually currently gone. There's a new one up for June now, and come July 1st, there will be a new one available for that month, and the one that is on there now, that one will be gone. So if you want to make sure that you get all of those rewards, definitely want to sign up for those as well. And also, you have the option, supporters on Patreon can also every month choose a physical print of one comic of their choice from the past month. So I can send those out to you, and you can have an actual in-hands Floof and Feathers comic every month to hold on to. So just some fun little things. In the future, I'm also thinking about expanding some rewards as well, maybe adding another tier, doing maybe just exclusively for physical rewards, and possibly adding Floof and Feathers stickers to the store. Just a thought. Still thinking that one over. Haven't really officially decided on anything yet, but might be something fun to look into. But just throwing that out there because there is a lot of fun stuff that you can get if you sign up. Let's see, so there they are going into the tunnel. I think that covers everything. One of the other things that I am trying to work on more in these comics, just as things progress, and maybe people have noticed this, maybe not, but just kind of a little goal I'm working on for myself is getting better at not only changing up some of the style of art sometimes, but also trying to draw things from different angles. When I first started this, I didn't really. It was something I just kind of jumped into. I don't really have an actual art background in terms of any kind of uh, technical application or any kind of theory on shading and white and things like that. So even when I first started, the comics were all drawn very much from just a head-on point of view because that's just what was easiest to draw. So now I'm getting a little bit more practice, and I'm trying to draw not all the time, but at least trying to get more personal experience with drawing from different angles. So it's not just the same old head-on view every time. So here we have them coming in head-on on the boats, but here they're looking up at the tunnel. So rather than just having it a head-on view with them looking up, I'm actually trying to draw their faces angled, uh, looking up at the ceiling. And part of the reason why I'm practicing more with that is just because of the fact that, again, it's not, I don't have a lot of experience with it. Just trying to more expand what I'm able to do, trying to get a little bit more confidence in what kinds of things I am able to draw with more practice. And also just because I know even when I was experimenting with different angles earlier on, they all looked fine in their own rights, but I think, or at least a big problem that I felt personally was that it almost, a lot of it had a feeling of almost looking like it was from a different comic entirely or from a different artist. A lot of it didn't always feel like something that I actually drew. Um, so just trying to get more practice with that on a personal level, just for my own benefit. And I think it's going okay so far. But that's just one of those things that I'm going to keep working on just for my own, just for myself. Even there, I don't know. I think I could do that eye a little bit better. There, there we go. Yeah, that's better. Go ahead and get Pippin's whiskers added. Oh, yeah, and he's outside on the deck right now. He says he wants inside. I'm not sure if he actually does though. We'll see. That's actually a good place to pause. That panel's done. I'll be right back for panel 3. Just give me a sec to get Pippin inside. Okay, and I stand corrected. He actually came right inside this time. That is actually highly unusual for him. Kind of wondering if something's wrong. He does not usually do that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get to the next panel. Something else I've also been practicing more as well. Practicing with more as well. Pardon me, I can't speak today apparently. Something else that I have been practicing with is being able to just clip art from stickers as I kind of like making them stickers, clipping art as I go when I'm sketching. If it's a similar sort of position, so you see here in panel 2, they're looking up at the ceiling. They're both looking inwards towards the middle. And then in here, they haven't really changed much. They're still in the boat. They're still looking up at the ceiling and walls of the tunnel. But I decided for a little bit of change of scene and action, they're looking outwards. So when I was doing the sketch, I could redraw the whole thing, but there's really no need to. So instead, I just clipped that layer, brought it down into panel 3, and just selected them separately and flipped them. And that saved me probably a good 10 minutes of drawing time. So that's just one of those one of those things I've gotten better about, remembering and utilizing the tools that I have at my disposal. That's what's one of the great things when you're working with any kind of digital art medium. You have There's just so many tools and tricks at your disposal, and it's to your detriment if you don't remember to use them all, because you're really not hurting anyone but yourself at that point. And again, a big part of it is, when I was first starting out with doing this, I didn't have any experience with using digital art tools. Um, so I didn't know what a lot of it did. I had to teach myself a lot of it and learn, oh, this kind of thing exists. Oh, I can just do this instead. Just learning as I go. So learn from my mistake, and if you do start doing digital artwork, or if you have started with it, just make sure that you learn what kinds of tools you have available on your device and software of choice, and just make sure you use it. That's what it's for. So there's Finn. And you can see here, I clipped it from here as well. Pippin had his hand up like he was grasping his face in horror. I decided to just make that. I'm going to have that just in this panel, again, just for a change of action, so it's not just the same kind of static, stagnant image, 2 panels in a row. Go ahead and draw him there, looking on in horror as he sees these terrible, scary messages on the walls of the tunnel. Every dog's worst nightmare. Go. And we'll actually go ahead and draw his eyes closed there instead of open. Again, just to change things up a little bit as much as we can from panel to panel. You never want it to be too much of the same thing from one image to the next. And then all the text there, I'll go ahead and I'll do that later when I actually have the text tool after everything has been drawn and colored. So there's that. Draw the boat there. Funny enough, I feel like I have a lot of trouble drawing boats. And maybe that's just because I don't really come across a lot of situations where I have to draw a lot of boats. So maybe that's something I need to work on as well. I need to find an excuse to draw more boats in my life, apparently, because when I first started doing the Willy Wonka series, and I knew of course they're going to be on a river going through the factory, and I didn't think much of it. And then it came time to actually draw the first comic with the boat in it, and I realized, oh wow, I didn't think this through. I didn't realize that I had so much trouble drawing a boat. So I probably should have practiced that a little bit more. But again, that's on me. That's my own fault. But we we learned from our mistakes and we carry on. Here he is, just covering his eyes. He's so scared by the events of the spooky tunnel. I thought I heard Pippin chewing on something suspiciously, but he's just in the next room with the bone, so he's fine. Sometimes you never know, though. I did. It was a couple months ago now. I think actually I had a series, or not a series, but I had a comic posted about Pippin eating several of our TV remotes. He seems to really love those. He ate three different remotes in as many days. We already had a remote for the TV, and it accidentally got left out sitting on the couch. And while we were gone at the grocery store, he hopped onto the couch and just demolished the remote. Thankfully, he didn't actually eat any of it, or he didn't puncture the batteries in it or anything. So that was good at least. Um, but then our TV didn't work. So we ordered a remote online. It came the next day and put batteries in that one. And then that evening, I went and got a shower. And while I was gone, and the remote was on the coffee table at that point, and I went and got a shower and came back 10 minutes later, and he had gotten a hold of that one and demolished it. So we had to buy a third one. And that third one also, it has a couple of tooth marks in it already. He has not actually chewed it up, but he's gotten a hold of it at some point. Don't know when that happened, but I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time. So whenever I'm in or near the living room, just like to poke my head in when I hear the sounds of him chewing on something to make sure that it's something he's actually allowed to have. Because he really likes to push his limits sometimes. But it's funny. He he doesn't mean to do it. He's just very curious about everything. It's just how he is. And I know I mentioned before, I think it was last week I talked, oh yeah, Finn, I'm going to talk about you. He perked up when he heard me. I think last week I was mentioning how Finn once before ate a dozen cupcakes I had made for my fiance's birthday. But that's when he was just still kind of a puppy back then, so it's a learning curve for everyone, really. But he's not done it again. Pippin, on the other hand, continues to try to eat remotes. So we'll see how long it takes before he learns that that's not something he needs to get a hold of. Try the tail again. There we go. Trick with even with the sketch to go off of, the trick with the tail is getting the curvature of it just right. It's not always an exact science, even with going on 2 years of practice now. Smaller pen for Olivia's beak. Oh, and also last week when I was doing my stream, I know it was at a time where Olivia was in for a nap. She is actually up and awake right now. She won't be going in for a nap again until about 3 o'clock. So she's out for lunchtime. She's over in her cage getting a snack and listening to some music right now because we have her cage in its own bedroom of the house, and she has her own personal radio with set radio stations on it because she's just spoiled rotten. So she's in there right now. So one of these days, so if this is actually a good time to keep doing these streams, one of these days I probably will have to bring her out here and people can see her on webcam while I'm drawing. That would be fun, provided that she doesn't try to eat all of my stuff, which she has. Oh, that I did not mean to erase that much. There we go. That's better. Yeah, she's actually eaten a couple. Well, oh no, not a couple, but she did chew up one set of headphones that I had before for work. This is actually a replacement pair. You have to be very careful to keep those away from her. I actually do have a little bite mark on my drawing pencil that she put there. She was curious about it and tried to grab it out of my hand. So just have to be very, very careful with any of my drawing equipment where Olivia is involved because she likes to get curious. Oh, and I actually just realized I forgot to give Pippin his whiskers here in the first panel. That's not going to work. Uh-oh. They see something out the front window, so probably won't hear them barking since I have a headset on, but you might hear a little bit of noise in the background. Just fair warning for everyone in case there's suddenly some barking noises in the background. Then again, I mean, I would hope that's to be expected since so much of this is based on actual animals that we have in our house. So if you do hear barking, hopefully it's not too much of a surprise. So funny during the winter, everyone's inside most of the day. Our windows are closed, so they can't hear anything outside. And then it's like as soon as the weather turns nice and my fiance's allergies are gone and we're able to open the windows again and people are outside again, and it's like they forgot what it's like when people are outside and they just start going crazy and they just bark at everything that moves past the window. That's because they're just excited. I understand. Olivia actually also really enjoys when the windows are open this time of year. It's funny. We'll put her right on the windowsill, and she'll just stand there, and the breeze just ruffles her feathers, and she'll dance back and forth on the windowsill, and she'll yell at people across the street, and it's adorable. Or at least we think so. Some people probably think it's annoying, but that's their problem. Get under his collar there. And actually, now that I think about it, because they're in the tunnel, I should probably do their shading a little bit differently. So I'm going to keep them white on the back. And then I'm going to fill in this with a much darker color since they are in the tunnel. So I want to get across that point that things are dark. And again, it's funny because that's one of those you know theories of whiting and color that I more or less just kind of ended up teaching myself as I was going. But I think it's going to work out pretty well. There we go. that can stay like it is. Then I'll do the same here. Draw them a little bit whiter on the back of the head. Just to get across the sense that they are going into a dark tunnel. Go ahead and color in most of his tail, color all that in. There we go. That looks better. Now, I'll do the same for Finn here. The trick with him, though, is that his fur is already so dark, and there's not really any shade darker it can go other than really full-on black. Whoa. So probably will not be able to do as much with shading because of the outline. But you know, he has really, really dark fur on his back. So I'll see what I can do with him. Definitely don't want to fill it in that much. Okay, so there's Finnegan. That. Yeah, that's feels a little too dark actually. So I'm gonna darken this gray up a little bit and try to not. There we go. That works. I can stay in my own lines, of course. Okay. Okay, I think that works. That looks pretty good. Go ahead and keep coloring. Let's. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but Olivia just screamed in the background. So, hopefully, like I said, I don't think that actually picked it up on the mic. At least for everyone else's eardrums' sake, I hope not. It can be pretty pretty loud sometimes. I always say at Halloween, it's really funny. Halloween would be the perfect time for her to be screaming when you have all the trick-or-treaters coming to your house, and you could just have your own built-in, horror sound system. But of course, that's the one time when she doesn't actually scream, is when we have trick-or-treaters coming to the house. I tell her, Withy, like right now would be the perfect time to scream. You would be terrifying. And she just won't do it. So it's actually kind of disappointing. It's funny, whenever I'm online on some kind of video call or even just on the phone, I have to warn people that, oh yeah, you might hear some weird screaming sounds in the background. Don't worry, no one's dying. It's just our bird. It's a very strange kind of disclaimer to have to give out. Not the kind of thing that you ever expect you would have to do. Go ahead and get some speckles added to them. Oh, now she's beeping all happy because she hears I'm talking about her. It's really funny, just this morning actually, earlier, she finally picked up on the phrase peekaboo, which I have been trying to teach her forever, and she's finally started figuring out how to say it. And she was using it in context too, because she wanted attention. So she was saying peekaboo, peekaboo, trying to get me to come check in on her. So actually pretty impressive. So good for her. Realized I missed a little bit of color here, so I'll go ahead and fix that. Okay, there we go. We're on the right layer. Yep, keep putting in all of Pippin's speckles. Go ahead, do Finnegan's. So funny, out of everything in the drawing process, this is actually one of the things that usually takes the longest. This is just drawing all of their speckles because they have so many. Trying to make sure that I place them all. Let's see, let's get Finn's hats. I don't know if this is how a lot of other people do coloring like this, but I find that, at least for a comic format where I have multiple panels going on, um, just for myself, I actually find it's easier to just focus on, rather than doing one panel at a time, working on one color at a time. Just putting those in, and then I can go ahead and lock the individual color layer and do shading and lighting with it as needed. Feels like it's easier to keep control of things and makes it easier to edit and work as I go. And that's just me. So not really sure if that's like a common thing or if that's just something that I do maybe. But again, that's one other thing I like about the artistic process is that, despite what a lot of people will try to tell you, there is no right or wrong way to do it. It's just whatever works for you. Or at least that's my approach to it. That's what I believe. Olivia's very upset right now. I'm actually glad that you probably can't hear her in the background because it is just a pathetic noise. She's good at it. Oh, now she's laughing because she heard I was talking about her again. I don't know what she's complaining about. She's got toys and snacks and music. She is all set. She has nothing to be upset about. Don't ever let her tell you otherwise. Pippin just wide-eyed with horror. Let's see. Go ahead. Finn all taken care of. Do his eyes here. Yeah, one of these days I'll definitely have to bring Olivia out on webcam for one of these. I think that would be hilarious. She would probably love it. She loves showing off. She likes seeing herself on camera. It's pretty funny. I just definitely would have to make sure I keep her away from my drawing tablet, especially because she can use smart devices with her tongue. It's pretty funny. We discovered that by accident, just letting her watching videos online with her. She was watching bird videos on the internet, like you do. And she liked a video, and she ran over to the phone and just clicked on it with her tongue and actually liked the video. So we figure, and she's been on our lap, and she has sent texts to people when they're in the process of being written. Uh, yeah, so if you're with Olivia and you have out your phone or your tablet or something, you got to be careful with her because she can use her tongue and interface with the screen, which is hilarious until she clicks on something that she's not supposed to. That's just one of those things you always have to be cautious when she's involved because you never know what that little stinker is going to get up to. That's good there. Go ahead and add some color to Olivia here in the last panel. Cheeks, she's good there. And fingers crossed, there haven't been any connection issues so far. Hope it stays that way. I know there were a couple of minor issues with that last week. I think I got that all resolved though, so time will tell. We'll find out for sure. But looks like so far so good. Get her green Oompa Loompa hair. There she is, she's all set. So I'm going to go ahead and actually merge all these down, give myself some more space to work with. So, oh, let's see. Let's do the Kibble River. Okay. That all looks good there. That's easy enough to draw, actually. Help if I unlock that first. There we go. That's better. And now I have to remember what I was using for the texture on that, because I know I had something. And of course now I can't remember and can't find it. Ah, there it is. It's funny, it's one of those things I don't have saved yet just because I don't use it very often. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Yeah, because that's one of those textures that so far I have only used for this series. And it's probably going to stay that way. So I haven't really added it to a favorites yet. Okay. Then I can go ahead, put that line there. Go ahead and shade that up a little bit. There. Coming into the tunnel. Perfect. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it? Yeah, that'll be fine. Nah, I should get rid of that. So actually, let me go ahead and undo all of this. Otherwise, I'm just going to be trying to fill in gaps that I could easily get rid of, and it's just not gonna look nice. Okay, there we go. That's better. So, let's try that again. Pippin is scratching at the back door saying he wants outside again, even though he was literally just out. That's because he just wants to live outside this time of year when the weather's nice. And I guess I can't blame him. It is nice outside. Really, he just wants to go out there and chase squirrels. I know his agenda. Where were we? There we go. Okay, there we go. That looks better already. Oh, Pippin sounds so sad. Poor boy. He'll be fine. He will survive, I promise. At least I hope he will. No, I'm kidding. He'll be fine. Don't let him tell you any different. Go ahead and do a little bit of grass texture there in the back. Oh, he looks so sad. He has just gone over and collapsed in front of the back door. He's not fooling anyone. He does this a lot. But I do hope that everyone is enjoying the little Willy Wonka parody series that we've got going on so far. I'm having a lot of fun drawing it. Whoa, what the heck happened there? Interesting. Oh, I think it's because I had the wrong. We had the wrong paintbrush? Not sure. Interesting. Weird. Or I probably just tapped the screen wrong. So anyway, well, that's taken care of at least. We can go ahead and color in their boat here going through the tunnel. I want his arm to be purple, just the boat. Did he drink all of his water again? Oh gosh. You have to refill their water bowl, I swear, 50 times a day. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. Pippin has this really interesting thing where he doesn't know how to not drink an entire bowl of water when it's out. He thinks that he either needs to not drink at all or he has to have the entire bowl. There is no there's no middle ground. It's a fully one or the other type of situation, which is fine. I mean, he's well hydrated, but means that we're also constantly going back and forth to the kitchen to check on the water bowl. And it's also why he wants to go outside every 20 minutes, I'm sure. So we're actually, I think we're almost done here with getting everybody situated. Let's go ahead and merge all those down. Get some more room to work. Help if I actually click on the color. Yeah. And draw in their shadows. Pippin is also very sniffly right now. He's, I think he might have possibly some kind of spring allergies. Maybe we're not sure. So just feels kind of bad because he just wants to go outside constantly. He loves it so much out there, but when he's out there, he comes back inside and he's just snorting and huffing and sneezing. It's sad. Poor boy. Got some pretty bad spring. So we're not sure, but it's very likely that it's probably some kind of allergies. Poor little guy. All right, so I think all that's left now is just to do the shading on the white areas, make that a little bit darker, just for some shadow contrast. Do the same for Finn. Whoop, that was a little too much. Still too much. A little crazy with the pen there. There, that's better. I think I was in kindergarten the way I can't color in the lines. Yes, Olivia, you're a pretty bird. She's in the background hyping herself up. She's very good with daily affirmations. think it's her favorite part of the day. Okay, so that's then. I think that's just about all the shading done. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, so now we can go ahead finally and pop some words in there. So it looks like a comic so far, but now we can actually add in something for people to read. Yeah. Okay, so there's actually there we go. That's better. This one I'll go ahead and just stack these balloons. Okay. Right, and I think finally we just need to do one more thing. Go ahead and get the spooky messages put up on the tunnel. So let's see. And this I think needs a different font. Oh, that looks spooky. That might work. You don't want to have spooky messages written in, Times New Roman or something. The only thing, I mean, it might give you traumatic flashback to, high school English class, but that's not quite the vibe I'm going for here. So, ooh, that one's good too. Let's see, where was that other one? Yeah, let's try that. Oh, yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Go ahead and actually go ahead and curve the text to the wall. Oh, that was a little too much. Perfect. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. No, not Mo. No, there we go. It would help if I could spell. You're thinking about making comics. I mean, obviously you want to be able to draw, but it also helps to be able to spell things. Funny enough. Perfect. And I think that is a finished comic strip right there. So this will be the full one. This will be posted on my website online tomorrow morning. Keep an eye out for that. Um, Also, there will be a full recording of this live stream going up on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube seeing this, hi, thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing these live streams on Thursday afternoons, probably for the foreseeable future. I'll keep everyone updated both on my Twitch channel and on social media if there are any changes to that schedule. So just keep an eye out for things like that if you're interested in joining. Again, if you're ever able to not make it to one, don't worry. These recordings are all going to be on YouTube. This will be coming out on YouTube as of Saturday morning this week. So keep an eye out for that as well. And like I said earlier, in the meantime, if you want to help support Floof and Feathers even more, you can there's a lot of fun rewards on my Patreon page, like sketch previews, exclusive wallpapers, and physical comic prints every month. Participate in reader polls, things like that. Lots of great stuff you can be a part of. Also, Floof and Feathers does have a merch store on the website if you're interested in checking that out. Links to everything are in my profile here on Twitch, so feel free to click on whatever you are interested in. And other than that, I just appreciate everyone being here and sticking around and watching me bring another comic strip to life. So that being said, just thanks again, and hopefully I'll see everyone again next week. Bye.